Hello. So in this video, I'm going to talk through just a way to help students understand A-level history exam questions. And this is specifically relevant to edXL A-level history, but I'm sure that whichever exam board that you do, it will be helpful there as well. So here is the plan for the video. So I'm going to talk through the different types of A-level history exam questions and talk about effective criteria. I've done another video on criteria that I'll link to in the description. And then I talk through the different concepts and then give a summary. So to begin with, there are different types of A-level history exam questions. And once you know this, I think it'll really, really help your essay writing and your analysis in your essays specifically. So this is actually hidden away on page 131 of the edXL A-level history specification. And as part of assessment objective 1, it talks about these key concepts. So cause, consequence, change, continuity, similarity, difference, and significance. And as you can see, this is 55% of the history A-level. The marks are made up of AO1. So it's really, really important that you've got a kind of understanding of this. So these are the key concepts. And really what I'm getting at in this video is that for each of these different types of questions, whether it's causation, consequence, change in continuity, similarity and difference, or significance, you're going to be using slightly different terms, slightly different analysis, and slightly different criteria. So in terms of criteria, think about effective ways to judge these concepts. So think about a good way. How are we going to judge causation? How are we going to judge consequence? How are we going to judge change in continuity, similarity and difference, and significance? So just taking a step back for a second, think about significance. Think about how you would explain to somebody that one thing is more significant than another. Yeah, or think about how one thing is more important cause than another. That's what I'm getting at here. And when you read into the question, when you work out what type of question it is, it just provides you with more depth of your analysis rather than just saying this was important, this was more important. So you can see there's quite a lot of crossover here. And these are just my ideas. I mean, your teachers might have given you other ideas for this, and that's great. This is just some ideas to kind of get you going with this. So for example, if we think about causation, something like short-term, long-term, catalyst, spark, those are the kind of phrases that are going to be particularly useful in a causation essay. Similarly, in a significance essay, unprecedented, widespread, long-term, transformative, they are the kind of words you're more likely to use in a significance essay. So hopefully already you're starting to see, once you work out what type of question it is, if you've got in your, up your sleeve, if you've got these kind of phrases ready, then your analysis becomes much more meaningful in terms of what the question's asking. So if you're still not quite with me, I've got an example for each one. So for example, let's start off by talking about causation. So here is a causation question. How far do you agree that the appeal of Hitler was the most significant factor in the collapse of the Weimar government? Now, it has the word significance in there, so I could see why some people might say this is a significance question, but really it's asking you about the collapse of the Weimar government, isn't it? And so it's a causation. What caused the collapse, basically? So you can see, again, I'm just using the same phrases. For causation, we're thinking long-term, short-term, exacerbated, spark, catalyst. So when you're weighing up Hitler against perhaps economic problems, then we're going to see those phrases would be particularly useful. Okay, so that's a causation example. Here's a consequence example. So the influence of Roosevelt was the main reason for the changes to the presidency in the years 33 to 60. So to what extent was the influence of Roosevelt the main reason for change to the presidency? So the consequences of Roosevelt's actions, to what extent were they the most significant reason for the change to the presidency? So again, we might be talking about unprecedented, widespread, long-term, transformative. If we've got a consequence question, they are going to be the useful phrases we're going to use when we're answering that question and when we're analysing the different factors we're going to talk about. Now on to change and continuity. So questions like this: how accurate is it to say the structure of British society in 1625 was remarkably similar to the structure of British society in 1688? So this is really asking, how much did things change, or did things stay the same? So you're going to be using phrases like there was unprecedented change in this area, widespread change, long-term transformative, or it was more of a continuity, things stayed the same. Just got a couple more here. So similarity and difference. Now this is one that you don't see this as often as the other questions, and this one, when it has come up, it has been quite surprising at times. So prepare for this. I think this is a type of question that I would certainly plan. So kind of comparing two factors or two periods. So the example here is, to what extent was Republican rule different from the personal rule of Charles I? And when we're thinking about similarity and difference, useful phrases might be fundamental, symbolic, narrow, widespread. Those kind of words are going to be useful. Those kind of criteria are going to be useful when we're answering that question. And last but not least is significance. And I've chosen a turning point question for this because I would argue that turning points questions are significance questions. So the question is, how far do you agree that Uncle Tom's Cabin was the most significant turning point in the portrayal of race relations in the years in the USA in the years 1850 to 2009. So when we're talking about turning points, or when we're talking about significance, we're weighing them up against other potential turning points, we've got to think about unprecedented, widespread, long-term, transformative. These are ways that we can assess the significance. Now, as I said before, you might have other ways of doing this, other words, and that's great. But hopefully this is helpful. And when you work out what type of question it is, you'll find that your analysis is deeper. Your understanding of what the question is asking is deeper as well, and you'll have a better understanding of precisely what you need to do. So here is a summary from Pitt the Younger, and just saying, work out what type of question you're answering. It will greatly help your analysis and ensure your criteria is valid. So. And even if you get it slightly wrong, like consequence, change in continuity, there's a lot of crossover here. So don't think, oh, I'm not sure what type of question it is, I'm in trouble. It's one or the other. Hopefully it'll help anyway. Even if you can't decide whether it's consequence or change in continuity, you can see the words that I've used there, the criteria are the same. So I hope this was helpful in helping you kind of break down and understand history A-level exam questions in a kind of deeper way, and helping you establish valid criteria and develop your analysis. If you've got any questions at all about this, or any feedback on this, any thoughts, please let me know in the comments. I'm really happy to respond and try my best to answer your questions. Thanks so much for listening.